Hey everybody, this is Andrew with Private Investigator Advice at PrivateInvestigatorAdviceHQ.com. Had some time to put together a quick video for you on moving automobile surveillance. Essentially, it's when you're following somebody in your vehicle, and I'm going to do it a little different. It's kind of hard to explain surveillance techniques sometimes, so I'm going to draw these techniques for you. I've got one, two, three, four, five, about five or six tips for you that I'm going to show you. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you learned something from it. For you guys that have been around a while, you might learn one extra new trick, or you might not learn anything. But for you new guys, definitely something you want to take a look at, because they don't always teach this stuff. So hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you later. Hey, welcome everybody to Private Investigator Advice Surveillance Training Techniques. These training techniques, or the things I'm about to show you, are nothing new in the surveillance industry. Most people that have done surveillance long enough know what this already is. But if you don't, and you're looking to learn these things and learn how to be better at surveillance, this is a good way to start. So bear with my drawing here, but this is probably the best way to kind of visualize uh, some of the surveillance techniques that are going to help you when following people on freeways and in the city, or even in rural areas. So let's get started. Let me clear the board here. For our purposes, this is going to be your subject's vehicle, and your vehicle will be this one. So let's talk. Let's talk about vehicle placement. If if the person you're following comes to a stop and you end up behind them, these boxes are going to represent the vehicles. I always like to come up and off-center myself with the vehicle that I'm following. And one of just the major reasons that I do it is I don't want to give them any more view of my vehicle. They got their side mirrors here, um, than they need. Um, just to just to be forgettable. The whole thing about surveillance is to be forgettable, to be invisible, to not exist uh, in the eyes of your subject. So if they look in their mirrors, they're not going to see into my front window. They're going to probably catch the side of it or just the edge of my car. They're going to have to rely on anything if they're even looking behind them, which most people don't, in the rear view mirror. And I'll have my shade down, and I don't want them to see my face, and I want to keep my vehicle as dark as possible so there's nothing that is memorable about me. So that's the first thing. Off-center your vehicle if you come up behind the individual you're following. Um, so the next thing we'll talk about is buffer vehicles. Now, a buffer vehicle is a vehicle or more, one vehicle or more than one vehicle in between you and your subject. And sometimes this is a great thing to have, and sometimes it's not. So while you're driving along, your subject's driving along, these are the vehicles um, in between you here, and this is you. Um, it's always important to maybe have one or two vehicles. Um, I know my vehicles are crooked here. One or two vehicles in between you and your subject, just so they aren't constantly seeing your grill, your vehicle. If there's anything memorable about it, it won't be in their rearview mirror. And they hopefully will have nothing to worry about. So this will kind of help you. If you can, I mean, I'll tell you what, if I'm following somebody, and it's in my best interest to not have any buffer vehicles if there's no issues on the surveillance. But a buffer vehicle here and there throughout following somebody is not going to hurt you. Well, it could hurt you, but try not to have any more than one or two. Um, just be on the safe side. Okay, so that is your buffer vehicles for you new to surveillance. You might call it, always might call it something else. Always called it buffer vehicles because it was a buffer between you and the subject. So that is the first two tips that I'm going to share with you. I've got three or four more, and we will continue. Now we're going to talk a little bit about freeway traffic. And freeway traffic can seem a bit easier, like, yeah, that's not going to be hard. Well, in most cases, it shouldn't be, you're right. But just to give you a few more pointers, to help you out with your surveillance. The first thing is and this also kind of applies to some city situations, but in most cases on the freeway, you're going to be one lane right of your subject. And the reason for that is you don't ever know when they're just going to go ahead and shoot across, 2 or 3 lanes of traffic and then exit the freeway. And if you are either in their lane or the lane uh, over here, it's going to be harder to cross as fast as they are and get off on the exit just in time. So you always want to try to stay to the right of the vehicle. Now, there is exceptions to this rule here, and erase some of this stuff. Um, I have found in my experiences doing surveillance in California and uh, you know, working in the San Francisco area, the Oakland area, some serious traffic. Well, not compared to LA or anything. They're amazing, the investigators in LA and stuff like that. But anyways, the what I have found is that many times um, when it's rush hour traffic, the person you're following is gonna want to jump on the freeway for some reason. So here's my super surveillance tip is you don't want to be in that right lane anymore. And what you want to do is you want to get in the same lane of traffic. I don't care if they're 20, 30 cars ahead of you. You want to get into the same lane of traffic. And the reason for that is that all these different lanes, they're all going to be moving at different paces. And you don't want to lose ground in any one of these lanes. You want to stay, you don't want to lose any ground. I mean, if you get any closer for some reason being in the same lane, great. But you just want to at least get through the hard parts of the traffic by staying in the same lane as them. Because at least you'll be going just as fast as them, ideally. And when it clears up, you want to try to negotiate the traffic and get closer. And if it starts getting really crappy again, get back in the same lane as them and just continue on with that pace. So that's your super secret surveillance tip for the freeway. And let's move on to some practical city situations that you're going to be in. If you have any questions on any of this stuff, you can always feel free to leave a comment in the video or go to Private Investigator Advice on Facebook, or you can visit my blog at privateinvestigatoradvicehq.com. So let's go on. Let's move on from here. Okay, so we've talked about freeways, and now we're going to get into more traffic lights and even a tip for some rural situations. So, let's say you're working in a semi-rural situation, and they're just it's a 2-lane road, and there's nothing out there but trees and sticks and rocks. Um, my big tip for you is you better crank on that GPS and keep an eye on your intersections and have some sort of idea when you might be coming up to stoplights, because you want to give them as much space as possible, and until you start to see some traffic lights coming up or some 4-lane whatevers. Whenever you see traffic lights coming up, you better get worried and you better get close to your subject, because if you're not close enough, then you're going to catch the red and they're going to make it through, and either you're going to have to do something illegal to keep up with them and risk hurting somebody or yourself, or you can just stay close to them. Get up when you know it's coming up. Get close to them, and try to make it through the light with them, and then back off again. Give yourself some space. Again, you want to be forgettable, but you want to stay in traffic with them as well. So that's your rule tip. I don't think I really need to draw that out for you. I think you get the idea on that one. So the next one we're going to do is we're going to be in a situation where your subject made the light, and for whatever reason you did not. And by the way, when I'm teaching you guys this, you got to remember, whatever you're doing, do it safe. Not all of these techniques are legal. The ones I'm showing you, pretty sure they're not legal. I'm not an expert in traffic law, but you can do this kind of stuff to be semi-legal, and I'll explain how. So that's your subject. You're stuck at the light, and you're upset. And what you can do, and this doesn't work in all situations, but in some intersection situations, you can literally do a quick U-turn, end up at this light, and then make your turn. And you miss, you're not stuck at that red anymore. Again, you want to really evaluate your situation before you do that. Sometimes you can even, make your right, travel into somebody's driveway, turn around, and then come back out. A lot safer to do that than to do a U-turn in an intersection like that. But if you're hard up for trying to stay with the guy, that's an option for you. So definitely try that out. Um, you know, if that's something you have to do. Okay, this last video tip for this episode is going to be, I don't even know how to label it, but essentially it's going to be when people are arriving at their destinations. Um, one of the things that I struggle with, I still struggle with some rookie things, and I think it comes down to my pride and always hoping that I've done so well that I can get away with some surveillance techniques that are unorthodox. But if you're patient with your surveillance, if you're not always eager, then no one's ever going to know that you're there, at least most of the time. So, anyways, this scenario is you're following your subject, and they're going to go to the store or the bar or whatever it is, and you've been following for a long time, and they're finally reaching their destination. You're like, yes, finally, I can get some video. I can see what's going on here. And your subject makes the left turn, and they go into the store or whatever, and they park. And just so you know, these aren't trees; these are parking spots. My feeble attempt. My suggestion to you is if you already know what they look like and you already know what they're dressed like, you don't want to follow in directly with them. You want to travel past that location and either flip around down the road and come back and enter, or you want to continue around, make the corner, and enter in a different entrance, and then locate their vehicle. And you don't always have to get video of the person walking in to the store, even though I'm always trying to do that. You can wait till they go in. You can get your covert camera out and go get your spy cam video, and then set back up and get them leaving. That is my final tip for you for this evening. Uh, I hope you enjoyed it, and if you guys have any questions, I'd love to chit chat about surveillance. It's one of the things I've been doing for almost a decade now, and there's not a whole lot of people teaching this nowadays, at least not teaching for free. So again, if you guys want to meet up with me, go catch me on Facebook, or say hi on the website, or go ahead and comment and give this video a thumbs up so more people can see it if you think it's worth it. Alrighty, thank you guys.